Hello class, welcome to the end of Unit 3. It is hard to believe that we are now officially halfway done with class. As you can tell, I am not in my frozen office where I am constantly freezing. I am down here in sunny Mexico. It's absolutely gorgeous. Wanted to take a moment to wrap up Unit 3 and move on to Unit 4. So the big thing that we talked about in our discussion board this week was the difference between nonprofit and for-profit. And the main thing that all of you did catch on to, which is not necessarily a marketing concept that I want you to take away, but it is a concept of the difference between not-profit, for-profit, and that is nonprofits do make profits. They have to. They have to pay their salaries, they have to pay their bills, just like any other business. They seek for a profit. Now, what they do with that profit is different than for-profits, okay? Nonprofits roll back into the nonprofit. For-profits pull it out, and that goes into the owner's equity on that, the owner's profits on that one. Different than owner's equity, I apologize. So that is the biggest difference. A lot of people, especially because I work with so many nonprofits, that they feel that nonprofit means no money, and that is absolutely not true. And that is actually one of the takeaways that I want you to do this week, is to understand that nonprofit does not mean no money. And when we look at potential careers, many of times individuals who I've spoken with, like, oh, well, it sounds like you're very interested in this. Have you actually ever thought about doing that in the nonprofit world? And they're like, no, I actually need to make money. Valid argument, because we do, right? That's the reality of life. But the thing that people don't understand is that nonprofits, there's a lot of positions in where they do pay well. Not every position, but not every position in for-profit business pays well either. And so if you're interested in any sort of capacity in business, whether it be marketing, graphic design, human resources, IT, trust me, that's a big one, and it's going to become bigger in the years to come, because that is one area where nonprofits are not on the spectrum of progressiveness, if you will. They have kind of skimped on that a little bit, and it's going to become a much bigger need in the future for most nonprofits. Any facet that you can think of, nonprofits have it. So as you're looking at your future careers, know that there's a lot of really good career opportunities that are out there that are in the nonprofit world, and that's the one piece that I want you to take away from this, because I work with a lot of nonprofits. Now, I myself, I'm for-profit who works with nonprofits, but the beautiful thing is that I get to work with so many amazing causes. I work with lots of schools, lots of private schools, animal shelters. I work with a lot of kids stuff, a lot of autism, and I work with what are some, a lot of diseases, so Parkinson, LLS, leukemia and lymphoma. What are some of the other major ones? Of course, I'm drawing a fluke right now. I get to work with the 49ers Foundation. So I get to work with all these cool foundations. And I mentioned this in one of the responses to the discussion board, and that we look at and we hear a lot of the bad stuff in this world, and unfortunately that seems to be what our society and our news focuses on. But there's a lot of good in this world. There's a lot of good, and there's a lot of really, really good people. And that's part of the reason why I love so much of what I do, is because I am reminded on a very, thankfully, almost weekly basis of the beauty that there is in this world. And that's kind of a bonus perk that you don't think of when you're working for a nonprofit, is getting to see a lot of the really cool things that humanity actually does do for each other, and how awesome it really can be. So that's my little plug on that one. As we end the Unit 3 and we move into Unit 4, this is where you will begin your group work. I've posted a video about that in the announcements area. If you have not watched it, I encourage you to do so. You have no work due in this unit. It is all due next unit, and I will be the first to admit the posting instructions in Unit 5 are confusing, and so I have clarified those up for you in Unit in that group work video. I apologize. So that's everything that I have for the wrap up of Week 3, Unit 3. I hope that you are enjoying this class as much as I am. If anything, your takeaway on this one is that maybe you don't work in marketing, but you all are consumers, and so better understanding how marketing works to affect you, because that's what we're all going for at the end of the day, it'll give you some of the tips and tricks that will help you out when you're making your purchasing decisions. So thank you so much, and I look forward to working with you in Unit 4.